I just thought how funny it'd be if I just did a giant spit take right as we go live on.
Yeah.
I know that makes your day. All right, buddy, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I just went super big. Okay. Welcome everyone to a monumental day. We have a big announcement today on the Not Your Average Investor Show, and we are giving the Jacksonville market forecast, aka JWB State of the Union. This is one of the perks of following the vertically integrated market leader that has the best data around, has been doing this longer than everybody. I don't want to make you uncomfortable by saying too many like extra things, but I don't think
You
there's.
shouldn't make me uncomfortable today. There is so much good that's happening right here in this next hour. I'm stoked no matter how uncomfortable you try to make me.
All right, we're going to kick it off with the JWB State of the Union. Market prognostication 2025 for Jacksonville and the big announcement. I'm your host, Pablo Gonzalez. Welcome to your weekly edition of the Not Your Average Investor Show. I am here with a man that I affectionately like to call GC. You like how I just kind of completely switched up the order of the announcement? Because he's got the genius concepts, knows how to generate cash flow. He's a great co-host, and his name is Greg Cohen. You can talk now, Greg. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. Can't wait to jump into this with you today. Thank you all for being here.
Can't wait to jump either. And you know who else can't wait to jump in our community? You know how I know, GC?
How's that?
Because of the roll call, baby! We got the mystery man checking in.
Danny Davies.
We got the leadoff hitter batting second.
John Henning.
World famous composer.
John Williams.
John Williams. Milady.
Jag Chatta.
Jag Chatta. We got Chris Trailer saying hello to
JWB
everybody.
teammate.
JWB teammate. We got the ringmaster in the house.
Andrew Barnhill.
Andrew Barnhill. We got Charity Graham back in the house.
All right,
hello,
Charity.
everyone. The number 2 Steelers fan of Not Your Average Investor Show Nation, Steel Hurtin'. You ready to rock from Rock?
Yeah, we took a run this morning, Pablo and I just vented. I let a little steam off about my Steelers this year.
You let me know.
Yeah, so I'm feeling you, buddy. But thank you for being here.
You gotta say his name though.
Oh, it's Louis Hudnall.
Louis Hudnall, of course. We got Le Monsieur.
Roger Fonse.
Roger Fonse from Leyland. We got the Maven from the mountains of Denver in the house.
Ms. Leslie
We
Wilson.
got the man from the illustrious Hudson Valley.
Chris Gonzaga.
Chris Gonzaga in the house. Did we already say hello to John Henning? Yes, John Henning. All right. You checked in twice, John Henning. You're messing me up here. You got to let the batting order go around before you lead off hit again. We got our regulars, Gary and Rosalind Riley from Marietta, California.
We regard you.
We got Tony D in the house.
All right, Tony D.
And then he did. We got our teammate, Caitlin Kitchens in the house.
All right,
coming up on the show next week.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Yeah,
you guys
we'll tease that in a second. We got Michelle John from Jacksonville, Florida.
All right.
New name? Michelle? I don't know. It's a rings a bell. It's a common name.
Either way,
Michelle.
we are super happy.
Happy to have you. We got the luck of the Irish in the house.
Kevin O'Brien.
Kevin O'Brien with a big slant to my JWB friends. We got Ed Lauer in the house. Good to have you. We got Hervé in the house.
Hervé Francois.
Good to have you, Hervé. He says, what up, JWB fam? Jeff Pettyjohn from Missouri is back.
Right,
we got our favorite smile from the Pacific Northwest.
Miss Pamela Myers.
Miss Pamela Myers. Good to have you. We got Big Papa in the house. I love it when he calls him Big Papa.
Pops, how are you, my man?
The co-founder of the co-founder, Jay Cohen, Greg's dad. We got the Shaw man in the house.
Nadeem Shah.
We got the
Billy Green.
The mountain man, for those of you keeping track at home. Billy Green, good to have you back, man. I haven't said your name in a while. We got John Moran from Port St. Lucie back. Good to have you, John.
All right.
Well, so we got Marie Rockoff.
All right, Marie.
Out with us. Marie, good to have you. Zenobia from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Right. Zenobia's back. Good to have you, Zenobia. We got El Gran Amigo.
Desde Duval, Bill Shields.
Bill Shields, good to have you. Right along Raj is in the house.
All right, it's a big day.
The Man of Steel.
Vincent Barbara.
Vincent Barbara, big day. Sir.
He's next.
Sir Peter James. Sir Peter James.
A tip of the cap to you, sir.
To you from the Commonwealth of Virginia. I love it. Darren Gardner from London this week. Darren, I've tuned in from London once before on the show.
Love
Good
it.
to have
Welcome.
you. Good to have you. Misty and Troy Johnson from Colorado.
Love that.
Top 10 attendees barely made it. Victor Scarpula is back. Good to have you, Victor. I feel like the whole community's back for the big announcement. Matt Coffey from Orange Park, our favorite name to pronounce, Aaron O'Neill,
into the light.
Good to have you, Aaron. I've been chatting with Big Aaron on LinkedIn lately.
Oh yeah,
he's been getting active on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
tell me he wants to start a podcast. Hope to see him soon. We got Kenneth from Memphis, Tennessee. Good to have you, Kenneth.
Welcome, welcome.
Who else is here? Man, this is a good one.
Lively.
I hope I didn't miss anybody, but I know what you're all here for. What are you guys charged up with? Lots of energy. That's coming from Not Your Average Guest. If you're answering on the text, I don't know who you are, so I don't know who just asked that. Would love to know your name. I'll tell you what I'm charged up with. I'm charged up with today's big announcement. What are we announcing today, GC?
Today, we are announcing the opening of the registration for our pinnacle event of the year to come together. It is JWB's Not Your Average Investor Summit. And if you go to jwbsummit.com right now, you can reserve your seats for the summit. This is a long time coming. This summit started, I think, this is our fourth summit.
Fourth summit. If you don't count just like that one get together for dinner we had that one time at the marina. That was our first get together.
Well, the first summit wasn't that much bigger than just a collection of friends getting together.
Yeah.
And over the years, it has just developed into this wonderful event, an opportunity. I think the biggest and best thing is for us to take a step and elevate our relationships within this community to come from not just over Zoom and on the internet and on social like you all tune into every single day, but to come here, to come to Jacksonville, to get to meet other savvy, like-minded investors, shake hands, and see what's going on here in downtown Jacksonville so you know why your money is in such a great place in real estate here. So there's a lot to be excited about.
This is when it gets real. This is when it gets very, very real. All these names that we announced on the roll call, all the folks that have been on the show, the investor profiles that we've done, everybody, the Pac-Man clan, right? Like everybody that has shown their Pac-Man portfolio of investment, we all come together to show that we are more than just folks in a chat. We come together to raise the flag of the not your average investor, of the folks that see things different, that don't want the same results as everybody else, understand retirement is not working for the majority of America and have decided to take it into their own hands. And it's just a love fest, right? It is, it's the best. It's my favorite day, my favorite 2 days of the year. It's like my proudest moment every single year, because when we started to prove that, you know, what we can really add, where we can add value beyond the asset, beyond the management, beyond the white glove experience that JWB provides, is to create community for folks, right? Like, it is not easy to take this leap into real estate investing, because as soon as you say it, everybody has an opinion. So, and it's usually a negative one because they don't know what they're talking about, or they've done it wrong and they've had a bad experience. So this is where it all becomes really, really real. I want to walk everybody through the website real quick. I've seen a bunch of people already gotten tickets. Bill Shields gotten tickets. Ed Lowry got tickets.
Yeah,
I know that Jen already got her ticket, but here's the website. You go to jwbsummit.com. Obviously, top of fold here. You can go straight to getting tickets if you don't want to see everything else. But little description, where you buy your tickets again. The agenda, GC, you want to talk a little bit about the agenda? It's 2 days of fun.
2 days. So it's February 28th and March 1st. That's a Friday and a Saturday. So 2 days. Now, the first day is all about you, and it's all about your portfolio. So this event is for JWB clients. So these are for folks that own turnkey rental properties with JWB, or if you are in the process of doing that and you have your first property under contract with JWB, we have a spot for you here at Summit. So there is some exclusivity to this event, as it is catered for those investors who are currently investing with JWB here in Jacksonville. And so day one is all about you as the investor. You get the opportunity to sit down with your JWB portfolio manager and have a discussion specifically about your portfolio. How are your returns doing? What can be done to increase your returns and maximize your returns? How can you use what we're going to talk about today for the Jacksonville real estate market predictions and our business plan? How can you use this information to put a better portfolio together for you? How can you invest in additional JWB properties to trim the timeline to get you to your financial outcome? All of this is prepared and ready for you on Friday. So Friday, you are going to have your time to be able to sit with our team, come by the office, come and check out the team, get to do a little bit of an office tour if you'd like. All of this is being prepared and catered for you on Friday. Friday night, we have a special dinner that Pablo and myself will be hosting. This wonderful place called the Jesse, which is in downtown Jacksonville. So you all are going to love it. And then Saturday is the bigger picture of what is going on in downtown Jacksonville, married with how JWB puts you in a position of strength for your real estate portfolio to accomplish those financial outcomes. We're going to do a keynote early in the morning. We're going to bring in a panel of downtown Jacksonville experts. Pablo, last year when we had the panel, to me, that was one of the highlights of the event. How many people were around Lori, who's the CEO of the Downtown Investment Authority, and Brian and some of the speakers that we had there?
Yeah, man, that was phenomenal. It was really kind of like it was the stamp of, hey, we know that JWB is vertically integrated and they control the process as much as possible. But at the end of the day, you're investing in a market, right? Like you invest in team first, market second. That panel, I think, showed the promise of the market through the people that are really moving that market, that are leaders in it, and bringing together this idea of just how invested the public sector is along with the private sector, and how this isn't, this might be JWB as a major flag waiver, but it takes a whole ecosystem, and then the ecosystem is involved. Man, that was really incredible, man. Some of the smartest people I've talked to in a long time.
Absolutely. And I call them by a first name because we have such a great relationship, but you're getting to speak with Brian Mull, who's the CEO of Gateway Jacks, which is a $2 billion development, which is sponsored by JWB. That's happening in downtown Jacksonville right now. You're going to get a tour of those projects that are breaking ground right now. So you're going to be able to talk to those folks that are spending billions of dollars here. So if you want the inside scoop, that session is going to be pretty amazing. We've got a number of other things that are just going to be, I think, a combination of a great time, but information that you cannot get anywhere else. Nobody in Jacksonville has access to this information for these 2 days, and you get to see behind the curtain what's going on from the public sector's perspective, from the private sector's perspective. And guys, it's really, really exciting as you're thinking about why you're placing your money in single-family rental properties in and around downtown Jacksonville.
Well, so that is the agenda. It's going to be awesome. We're going to conclude with a happy hour, and no surprise, Jen and I are already working on a karaoke night for Saturday night.
Of course.
Unofficial, not officially sponsored by JWB as much as community created.
There we go.
I do a rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart. I don't know if you've heard, but it's worth the ticket of admission.
100%. I've seen it.
You've seen it on video. You haven't seen it live, huh?
God,
I want you to witness the power of my karaoke rig. All right,
Yeah.
So we got FAQs down here. One of the main questions that we get all the time is, where do I stay? And there's something kind of interesting going on here, right? JWB opened up your downtown Airbnb properties for folks that want to stay. You can register through them directly here. There's a whole bunch of these, right? Obviously, first come, first serve, but there's also hotel recommendations down here if you just want to stay in a hotel downtown. Anything you want to add there, GC?
Yes, so there are some JWB beach short-term rentals for some of our folks who want to stay out by the beaches. There are some that are in the downtown area. All are wonderful, and I think a way to kind of close the loop as the JWB and Not Your Average Investor experience. And we're doing something a little extra for all of you as Not Your Average Investors. We're including a discount code for you to be able to sign up and stay in one of those Airbnbs. I believe it's a 10% discount. You'll see it right there on the registration page.
What is it I got here? Does this work? Is people seeing this? Right,
so.
You see it? Okay, it goes down here and you register.
Look at you, Vanna. You're
Yeah,
doing so
okay.
well.
Okay, so it should be able to pop in the dates, I guess.
Yeah,
17.
you trying to book it right now? You getting excited?
I live here, Craig. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I don't want to break something. But I'm seeing a bunch of people got their tickets. I'm seeing a bunch of people already getting their tickets. So people are getting it, right? So this is where you go for where to stay, right? Hotel recommendations, Airbnb recommendations, a couple of other questions. What should I bring? What's the dress code? Can I bring a guest? All these good things. And then finally a place to buy your tickets. So super easy. You can go register. Many folks have already done so. And
so there is an urgency here. We are announcing this right now on the show on purpose because we love you all. You dedicate so much time and energy to this community. You're all getting the first crack at it. We're not sending this out by email or social or any other platform until later this week. So For everybody who wants to go ahead and register, the tickets are $199 per ticket, and there's only 100 of them. Last year we limited it to 125. I think we could have had 200 if we really wanted to last year. Intentionally, we are making it smaller. So, guys, this will sell out. We are doing this because we love you and want to give you the opportunity as Not Your Average Investors to take advantage of this because we want to see you. So go ahead to jwbsummit.com, register right now, get your tickets, and get ready to have a ball on February 28th and March 1st.
We made the conscious decision. We're like, man, this thing keeps growing. We keep selling out quickly. You know, we had like 150 people last year, something like that. And don't quote me on numbers, not my thing. But we were going to go to 250, and we realized, you know what? We're not an event company. That's not what we're here to do. This isn't like, we're not trying to do something enormous. We want to do something intimate, right? So this is the thinking behind it. How can we spend the most quality time with the folks that are really, really bought in on this community? That's why there's only 100 tickets. That's why there's like, everybody's going to be a VIP at the experience, right? Like, it's going to be intimate. It's going to be small, only for investors. We want people that are fully bought in here. And yeah, that's it. That's why there is some urgency. I know that that's kind of like, you know, part of the experience, but it really is the best thing that we can do is just keep it as small and intimate as possible to spend as much time with you as possible.
100%.
All right. With all that being said, Vincent Barber at Man of Steel asks, is there a promo code? Vincent, there's only one price for this ticket, right? Like we are pricing this so that we can deliver a great experience at as little cost to you as possible.
Yep. No promo code. Just go in there and register.
Just go in the register. I want to shout out to the MVP, Lee Bishop, who's checking in on his phone. Lee was in the hospital the past couple of days. He's the MVP, so he's obviously here. Lee, I see you, buddy. Really glad that you're here, man. Really glad that you're doing better. And I can't freaking wait to see you in less than 2 months.
It's not a party unless Lee and Jane are here. We can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah. The amount of people there will ensure that everybody can hear Lee's booming laugh at a deafening sound no matter where you're standing.
Right.
So, all right. With that being said, GC, let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
We've got some folks here that they're pumped about the announcement, but they came to hear about, you know, what JWB is seeing out there in the market for 2025. What are the things that you saw last year? What are the assumptions you're taking into 2025? And what are the bets you're making, man?
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it, man.
Let's jump into it.
I'll just kind of start with just an overall just kind of reflection. You know, we had the opportunity to do our offsite JWB kind of business plan reveal to our team last Tuesday. And it was really amazing. This was the first year we went offsite. We typically do it in the office, but as we continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and because of the importance of the message, we thought it would be great to go offsite. And you know, it hit me as I was walking into the meeting room. It was actually the top of Sweet Pete's, which is where we held the summit last year. And I'm walking up the stairs and I'm just hearing this like energy as I'm turning the corner, and I see, you know, 130 plus teammates all laughing, having a good time, you know, right before the meeting's going to start. And I just thought how powerful it is to have 130 plus people moving in a direction. Yeah. You know, how powerful that is. And, you know, our community is powerful. It's a lot more than just 130 people that we have moving in a direction, but it just hit me. So, you know, the first thought that I had as I was preparing for this State of the Union is just gratitude. The team asked me what we all thought of a word for the year. Everybody on our team, we did an exercise around that. So they asked me what my word of the year is, and my word is humility. And I just talked about our humble beginnings as a company. This really was just an idea of a few best friends in the beginning who were trying to change the world and do something that other people said you couldn't do. And it has grown into this living, breathing thing. I feel like I woke up and all of a sudden we're a medium-sized business. You know, and so humility, I think, is the word for me. It's something that I think is important. You know, as you grow over the years, sometimes you're forced to have humility, which we have been like any other business, right? As you go from entrepreneur to small business to medium-sized business, you know, you're always going to stub your toe, but I never worry about our ability to deliver on those promises that we make. You know, I think as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is what I stress to the team, as we accomplish what we are going to accomplish in 2025 and beyond, our platform is so much bigger now. And if we approach the accomplishments and the struggles that we have with a sense of humility, I know that we will accomplish what we have set out, and that we'll do it in the right way. So thank you to all of you who have been on this journey with us. It is 19 years now that we've been in business. We celebrated on January 6th of this year, 19 years, and could never have imagined what a wonderful living, breathing, dynamic energy and positivity JWB has become and will be for many, many years, as it is much bigger than that ragtag group of friends in the beginning who were working, on an apartment floor trying to do something special. So thank you all for that, and couldn't be more grateful and humbled as we go into this year.
Let's get into it. GC, I can tell you that I've seen it double in size since I've been on board for 5 years. So we're going to be going through this presentation. There's going to be some slides that we highlight. It's got some good stuff in it. Nobody ever watches the screenshots of like whatever you took on your phone. So just text this number, 904-293-0341 for these slides. You can text this number for any kind of questions you have about investing in JWB as well. So and investing in Jacksonville. And if you have other things that you're investing and you want us to like run reports and stuff like that. So 904-293-0341. Quick disclaimer on there's some real numbers here, but all investors should do their own due diligence. This is not financial advice. We are telling you what JWB is up to these days. And now the big reveal is this amazing graphic you created, GC. What is this thing? Look at this.
I was trying to, I put into AI, create an image of a business on a pendulum swing.
Yeah.
And this is what it created. And I was like, I'm going to send this in front of Pablo. And with the expectation that he was going to say, that really doesn't mean much to you. But you know what you said? You said, put that in the presentation, Greg. We want people to see what was in your brain.
It looked like fishermen playing Kidditch to me, but I like it. I see what you're trying to say here, right? This was 2020 to 2024. We see COVID in here. It threw some things in there, but I think what you're trying to get into is like lessons learned and years in review. GC, why don't you tell us about this?
So whatever that was, it was supposed to symbolize a pendulum swing, and that's really what I feel that the economy and businesses have been on since 2020.
Yeah.
In 2020 through 2022, we had COVID challenges, but there were low interest rates. It was the age of easy money. I'll tell you what, sales were on fire, not just in real estate, but sales were on fire everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we all ran into 2022 and 2023, and we ran into high inflation. We started to talk a lot about inflation. There was the other side of the pendulum swing, which is supply chain challenges. Once you had epic sales on one side, now you have supply chain challenges. We had wars abroad. Those interest rates rose very quickly, and it was very unsettling for our economy, both personally and from a business perspective for Americans. And ultimately, when you have high interest rates, that is going to suppress demand. So demand was down across the board, across, if not all industries. And then 2023 and 2024 was interesting, right? We still had inflation. We still had high interest rates. We still had some suppressed demand for goods and services because those interest rates were there. But I think it was an opportunity for businesses to understand how to operate in that environment. So stability started to come about. Businesses started to become a little bit more stable. We realized that we weren't all falling off the cliff that some people and some talking heads had prognosticated. And you can see that in real estate as well. High interest rates, but home values continue to go up across the board, even against what some people would have guessed. So stability was starting to come about in 2024. Mm-hmm. What it did for me and for our team is reinforce some of these same lessons that have guided us through some of these pendulum swings of times, especially since 2020. We talked last year about the value of proactive pivoting and the difference between a proactive pivot and a panic pivot.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, Pablo?
Oh, man, I think it's the difference between having a plan for the future that includes best case scenarios and other scenarios so that when the other scenarios inevitably hit, you're not scrambling to catch up, chasing your tail, and therefore your customers don't suffer.
Yeah, exactly. It's the business planning process. Yeah. It is the sharing of the business plan with the team and with our community. And so, it requires so much thought and strategy to do that. And what I shared with the team when I was talking about our platform is like, guys, when I was starting and we were just entrepreneurs and we were putting a business plan together, I could afford to get it wrong because all it really affected was me. I didn't even have kids at that point. So all it was affecting was me. Now there are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people that will be affected by us getting this right on the business plan. And conversely, if we don't, getting it wrong. So planning ahead, pivoting if required is an important thing to do, but you don't want to be pivoting reactively. That's the cycle that many businesses fall into and leads to some tough times for them. Good segue to go into the value of vertical integration though. The opportunity to proactively pivot is there when you run a business that is vertically integrated. And we'll see some of this when I share what we did in 2024 and how that was reflective of proactive pivoting and pulling levers within our vertically integrated business model. And lastly, just the value of a steady hand when it comes to running a business and making investments. You know, I feel like I have lived many lifetimes in real estate and in business since I started our company in 2006. We went through the great financial crisis. We went through the Great Recession. And I thought, wow, I lived 100 years in real estate in that small time frame. But then we went through, the COVID and the subsequent years there. So you cannot do this with grace unless you have experience in times like this. And that experience has served us very, very well. And it's served our clients well, too. I mean, you're going to see some of these numbers and some of these stats of how you all are doing out here. Steady hand, buy and hold real estate, buy the right asset supported by the right team and hold on. You can see elements of your steady hand in your investments, of course, reinforcing how JWB runs our business.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing here, GC, is essentially, we're giving you the context of where these forecasts are coming, right? Like these are the lessons learned over the years that you only get if you're in the game and you are actively doing this stuff. I know that my first couple of years in business, the idea of planning and proactive pivoting, I didn't have that luxury, right? Like I was just kind of like trying to figure it out. And thanks to my exposure to JWB, your planning process and the way that you operate, the value of that, the value of not rushing to an objective, but making sure you are bringing people along to it so that when something doesn't go exactly as planned, they know what to expect. They know, like they're set up to win, is kind of like what rings true to me in all these lessons that you're sharing, that we are sharing in order to validate this idea of we are bringing you along so that you understand where these, where this market outlook's going to come from, where these bets that JWB is going to make next year, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The benchmarks that you're setting, right? Like the goals that you're setting and the things that you're saying, right? So like you are right now experiencing kind of like the way that JWB makes decisions by first looking backwards, bringing everybody along, and then setting the table for the future. Is kind of what I feel right
You're going to see elements of this in all these numbers that we share with you.
Got it. So you want to share this 2024 video with everybody?
Yeah, so I want to bring you all as if you're a part of the inside and the team here. So this is our recap video for 2024 that we shared in our offsite meeting. I think you guys are going to love it.
Check it out.
2024, what a year. We set out to make an impact, and boy, did we deliver. Together, we crushed it. We released Homestep to continue our efforts in paving a way to home ownership for individuals who thought it would never be possible for them. We gave away a home to a JWB resident for the very first time ever. This is our 6th home that we've given away in the last 6 years. We added 400 plus new affordable homes for Jacksonville's workforce housing neighborhoods, adding to the 2,500 homes that we've built since 2011. We broke ground on the first $750 million of our $2 billion downtown development project, and Pearl Square is officially taking shape. We were winners of the Jacksonville Business Journal's Best Places to Work, named Top Workplaces by the Florida Times-Union, and won Companies with Heart Award by Jacksonville Magazine. We rallied together as a team to support our community with 6 volunteer events for our local nonprofits. And these accomplishments weren't just numbers. They were lives changed, futures secured, and dreams realized. And it's all because of you. Every single one of you in this room played a significant role in our success. But here's the thing about JWB. We're not the kind of company that's going to rest on its laurels. Every year we grow, every year we improve, every year we build, and every year we challenge ourselves to make an even bigger impact. 2025 is here, and we'll do what JWB does best. We push ourselves to do more. We're doubling down on our mission to build wealth for investors, create opportunities for our community, and make Jacksonville the very best it can be. More turnkey properties building wealth for investors, more affordable housing so families have a place to call home, more groundbreaking projects transforming downtown Jacksonville into a thriving, vibrant city, more wealth generated, more lives impacted, and more reasons to be proud of everything we do. So let's bring that same energy, that same passion, that same motivation and drive into 2025. Let's make this our very best year ever for our investors, for our residents, for our community, and for each other. Together as a team, JWB, we are unstoppable.
Let's go.
That's pretty good.
Let's go. Yeah, that was awesome. As a content creator myself, I can't help but like envy the storytelling, the dramatic effects. Like, really well done. Really well done. I'm assuming Santa had something to do with it.
Big shout out to Justin Senna and then our team who's just who's crushing it on camera. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Eisman brought it with that. That was JWB's CEO, Adam Eisman, one of your partners. And that was really cool. So the other thing that I think of once I get beyond my content creator lens is I remember you kicked off last year as Impact. And that video to me was all about impact, right? Like it was just like the homes you gave away, the awards you won, the things you're doing in downtown, right? So like now when you say, what was the word of the year this year?
Elevate,
right? So like, what does that mean? What does that mean to JWB? Like if you're obviously able to deliver on the word that you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So elevate is the theme. It's the word this year. And intentionally we left what comes next after elevate to be open-ended within our team. And I would encourage that for you all too. Elevate whatever it is that you have an impact or that you have control over, whether that is the client experience, elevate the returns on investments for our folks, elevate the growth of our construction team, maybe by reducing timelines and things of that nature, elevate the community service, elevate your commitment to your own core values, whatever it may be for our team. We're taking that word elevating, we're filling in the blank, and we're making it our own along the context of making sure that your investments and our residents are taken care of. So we're excited to elevate in 2025. That's our word.
Love it, man. Love it. So just touching on impact, I noticed you gave away another home to a community member. It's your sixth home to a JWB community member. You want to talk a little bit just to put a button on the impact on the community that you made?
Yeah, we started 7 years ago with a vision to create a charitable organization. We didn't exactly know where that would go, and to sit here 7 years later and to think about all we have accomplished together with our community is truly inspiring and amazing. So a big thank you to everybody who takes part in our initiatives. Together, we've raised over $750,000 through our annual JWB Cares charity golf tournament. We have used that money to build and to donate 6 brand new construction homes, and we gift these homes to local veterans. And even last year, we gifted a home to a JWB resident, like we mentioned. We kind of closed the loop there, and couldn't be more proud and excited about that experience.
Yeah.
But just in our charity golf tournament alone, we raised over $165,000 in our charity golf tournament last year. So it continues to grow and get better and better and better. And this is all done by your team here at JWB, in addition to their workload. We do not outsource this. This is a true team building experience. We hold events throughout the year that you may or may not see. We hold donation drives, 50-50 raffles that you all many times are a part of. We even do garage sales. So like one example is, we were switching from a short-term rental to a long-term rental. So we had some staging materials and furniture that we didn't have a place for. Well, we sell that, and then all of the proceeds go to JWB Care. So there is an eye on anything that we can do to support the mission of affordable housing. We're going to do it, and we do it through JWB Cares, our charitable organization. In addition, we want to support the charities of choice for our employees. So when an employee goes above and beyond, donates their time or treasure, JWB matches their donation to the tune of about $40,000 for our teammates. And you all can continue to be a part of this mission. At any point that you'd like to donate, we would love to have your support. You can go to jwbcares.org to donate. And many of you do. When you buy a property or you lend a property, you have the option to donate $100 towards JWB Cares. All $100 goes straight to the mission here. So thank you. Many of you do that as you continue to do more and more business with us. So thank you for that. And I do want to make a special announcement about our charitable giving this year in 2025. As you can see about how we are passionate about making an impact and elevating. We're going to elevate our impact in 2025. What we are going to be doing is taking these hundreds of thousands of dollars that we raise through your donations every single year, and instead of just impacting one resident, what we are going to do is to give substantial down payment assistance to many families. So we are going to be creating more and more homeowners right here in our JWB resident base, those who rent from you and from us. We're helping our residents become homeowners. We expect it will be somewhere around 6 to 8 families will be able to receive this down payment assistance and walk into their home of their choice, either without a down payment required or substantially less, and helping them and their future generations for their financial well-being. So super excited about what we're going to do in 2025.
Love it, man. So that is the impact for 2025, which I know you keep front and center. Jag has a quick question. Is the Homestep program and these like resident assistance, I think she's asking, is that in the same areas as the rental properties you manage?
Yes, absolutely. Homestep is a program where our residents, those who rent with you and that we manage the properties for you, JWB cares so much about helping them become homeowners. What we do is we take $100 a month of their rent and we credit them towards their own bucket of money that they earned that they can then use as a down payment or to help with their closing costs. They can earn up to $3,600. So this is a property management company that is incentivizing their clients, their residents, to go and become homeowners because we care so much about it. And so this is in the neighborhoods that we serve. It's for the homes that we manage. Now, the homes that the residents choose to go and use this down payment assistance with are all homes around Jacksonville. So it is in the neighborhoods that we serve. They can also choose it on any home in the greater Northeast Florida area. So no limitations there.
Cool, man. All these things are amazing, but I feel like you can't really do that stuff if you're not nailing the blocking and tackling, right? Like your real assumptions, knowing where the market's going. So I think a lot of people are coming to listen to this stuff, right? Like, tell me about the 2024, like what you guys are seeing in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we kind of laid the foundation as we did the last quarterly market update, especially as we were talking about rent prices. So let's just give a quick recap here. Rents have continued to go up, meaning that rent prices have continued to appreciate year over year over year. Yep. Contrary to what you might be reading out there, it is very, very unusual for single family rent prices to decline. In fact, across the country, rents have never gone down in any recorded year. In Jacksonville, even through the Great Recession, rents went up through the Great Recession. So it is very unlikely that rents would go down. And guess what? Last year, rents continued to go up. Now, they did not go up at the same pace as previous years. In a typical year, your rents will go up an average of 3.6% in Jacksonville. And last year, we're still getting the numbers coming in, but somewhere around maybe 1 to maybe 2% for rent price appreciation is kind of where we are. So to put a label on that, that is a soft rental market. It's still appreciating, not declining, but it's not 3.5 or 4% rent price appreciation. And guys, that's a great thing. Your asset is continuing to go up in value, but this is something that is good for our overall economy because, quite frankly, rents were rising too fast for many, many years. So this soft rental market is what we expect to continue in 2025. What's happening is there is still a lack of supply in single family housing, but on the apartment side, what's happening is there's a glut of supply. And so you're seeing multifamily rents come down last year. And we are expecting multifamily rents to continue to struggle as we go into 2025. We see single family rents continuing to grow, but in a soft rental market. So I put a number here to make everybody feel good, but 0 to 2% as sort of a range is what I would kind of define as a soft rental market.
Yep.
And I think that's probably where we'll land when we're doing this talk again 1 year from today.
Got it. Okay. So rents basically flat, soft rental market. I guess the other symptoms of a soft rental market might be like what Jag is saying, that she's got about her place has been 3 months days on market and counting. So maybe elongated vacancy periods, term periods, stuff like that.
Yeah. You want to prioritize occupancy over rent increases in a soft rental market, which is the advice that we gave the last quarterly market update. And so, our team is working with our clients to make sure that you're prioritizing occupancy.
Yeah.
It would make sense that the longer times to fill a vacancy would be happening today versus where they were a year ago, and definitely 2 and 3 years ago. There's that pendulum swing that is still kind of happening back and forth. So we do expect a soft rental market in 2025 overall. However, what's really great is that Q1 is always the best time of the year to be renting homes.
Okay.
And the reason is because people have more money in their pockets.
Mm.
The biggest reason is that people get tax refunds in Q1, and so they have more capital to be able to place for a deposit and to move, which is expensive. So I know that our team is, we're starting to see some very good numbers come in as far as homes rented each week.
Okay.
Numbers that are well ahead of business plan, and same thing for leads generated. So we're entering a good time. But yes, Jag, it is possible that you're experiencing a longer than normal vacancy. It's kind of the market that we're in right now.
Yeah.
And we would expect that same type of soft rental market to continue. However, I don't expect long vacancies to be the name of the game on the they're not the name of the game on the macro side today. Mm-hmm. And I definitely don't expect those to be the name of the game as we progress through 2025.
Oof. Okay, good to hear. How about home prices, GC? Talk to me about this normalization.
Yeah, continued normalization in 2025. It's been a theme. We projected this last year, and we hit the nail on the head when it came to home prices. Again, we're getting the final numbers in, but somewhere around, call it 3% home price appreciation is what we experienced in Jacksonville in 2024. I would expect somewhere around there in 2025. I think we'll see some interest rate relief, but I don't think we'll see as much as we originally expected and hoped for. And I do think seasonality will play out yet again, which we'll see a strong spring and summer.
Yep.
And then I think you'll see a soft fall and winter. And again, this is normal. I think what I hope is that there are less articles and less talking heads about a supposed crash happening in fall and winter.
Yeah.
In 2025. In 2024, we had that rush of that negativity again. And I tried to help people see it with data and perspective of that this is normal. Seasonality will play out. So yeah, we are entering into as we get through winter, into a strong spring and summer. And I think it'll be pretty normal.
Got it. So normalization means closer to that historical rate of appreciation as opposed to these like eye-popping numbers that we've had the last couple of years of like 12, 20%, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got it.
And a lot of this is due to interest rates. So this discussion can change. I reserve the right to change where I see the market going, because the big lever that is pulled is interest rates, and that has to do with inflation and the Fed and the overall economy and jobs and whatnot. So continue to tune in. We're not setting this in stone and that it will never be touched again, because that would be the wrong way to do it in an environment where interest rates can change the game dramatically.
Got it. And then that stat that we put on the map, months of inventory, GC, you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, so I think you'll continue to see months of inventory increase. Again, for some of you who are new, this is a great way to measure how much demand and supply is in our current market. And it's a leading indicator for home pricing. And a normal equilibrium market is between 6 to 7 months of inventory. And we've been well below that for over a decade now. And that's been a big reason why home prices have continued to go up. So I do see that we will see an increase in months of inventory MOI. I think it will go up. And then as the spring and summer months come into fruition, you'll see sales ramp up again.
Yep.
And that will drop your months of inventory. So I think we'll go probably above equilibrium. I think we'll come down below equilibrium. So call it maybe 4 to 5 months as we're getting to the second half of the year. And then I think it'll tick back up again. And I would say somewhere around historical norms is probably where we should be when it comes to months of inventory. So a couple things. Don't become a victim of the stats here, because you'll read a ton of articles that will say months of inventory and supply is up 6,000% compared to what it was 2 years ago. And you got to realize that inventory was so low 2 years ago. So it's okay that inventory is going to go up. The best way to know how okay it is to measure supply and demand, which is this months of inventory metric. And so we'll continue to beat this drum. We'll continue to report on this, especially in our quarterly market updates. But you can just kind of see across the board here as home prices, months of inventory, they kind of work in unison.
Yep.
And this normalization is what we would see based on the information that we have today.
Got it. Speaking of how these stats work in unison, Billy Green's got a question. What might be the difference between months of inventory and median days on market? How is that parsed?
That's a great question. It's just measuring two different things. So months of inventory is measuring the amount of sales relative to the inventory. So if you had 6,000 homes on the market and you sold 1,000 homes last month, that would be 6 months of inventory. So that's what months of inventory is measuring. And then days on market is measuring from the time that a home is listed, how many days does it take until that home is put under contract to sell. So just two different measurables. They're both important to measure the success of the market.
Got it. So those being said, those predictions being given, JW, do you have kind of like an overall take on, this normalization period that's happening in the market?
An overall take on the normalization?
Yeah. Do you have any like a big takeaway 2025 as far as like what your prediction is?
I do. Well, so listen, the first thing to keep in mind is that a normal real estate market represents a big opportunity to buy and hold. Because if you see, let's just say 3% home price appreciation, and we'll keep the numbers easy here. If it's a $300,000 property and you see 3% home price appreciation, that's $9,000 of growth that you would be receiving if you own this asset. And I'm not even talking about the other for-profit centers there. So even normalized home price appreciation represents dozens or tens of thousands of dollars of opportunity.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to and you wait another year because you're listening to headlines or people that might not know exactly what they're doing, not only are you foregoing that, you're then also doubling what it cost you to get into that asset, meaning you're doubling the opportunity cost.
Yeah.
So that, call it $9,000 to $15,000 of growth that you could have had. Well, now guess what? Not only did you give that up, but now you're right, it costs $9,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 more to get into that asset 1 year later. So just keep that as a baseline. When you see these terms like normalization that I throw out there, it doesn't mean that it's not a great opportunity to buy, right? It is a great opportunity to buy in a normal real estate market. But I do see this, and this is a great segue into Summit. What you are going to see in Summit this year is going to blow your minds. Even for those who have come over the last few years and you've been able to see what I have said, this is going to take place here. Well, guys, a lot of that is taking place now here.
You're talking about the growth of downtown.
The growth of downtown Jacksonville. So I want to make a special note to all of you that one of the biggest opportunities in 2025 is to hitch your investment wagon to what is happening in downtown Jacksonville, because it is an opportunity to get in before the rest of the city and the rest of the country figure out the greatness that is happening downtown. And when you do that, the data shows that you see more home price and rent price appreciation for your assets because median incomes go up. And so all of the JWB assets that you have the opportunity to invest in are located right around downtown Jacksonville. And this is going to be a main theme of showing you this during the summit. So that opportunity in 2025 is there. And guys, I can tell you that when the rest of the city And when the rest of the country figures this out, that's when big money starts rolling in, just like it did in Denver, just like it did in Nashville, just like it did in Tampa. And the opportunity to see these outsized gains will be in the rearview mirror. So I hope you all take us up on coming to Summit so you can see this. But more than that, take advantage of this opportunity to acquire these assets now before downtown Jacksonville pops.
So it's almost like anybody that has access to the data can basically see normalization. Can see, right, like if they have data, they see this is going to be like a very average year for what Jacksonville does as a market. If they have data plus perspective, they're going to be able to say, okay, a normal year has always been a very, very good year. So I'm not going to have the perspective of comparing it to like the insane years of recent history. But kind of like the not your average insight here is that this kind of like cloud cover of normalization is maybe murkying for people the idea that that powder keg that we've been talking about is truly reaching this like explosion moment, right? Like we're gonna see it in the summit. We're gonna, I think it's pretty clear to me, like even when we were scoping up places for the summit this year, right? Like I remember even last year we finished scoping places. We're like, oh, where are we gonna eat? Not a lot of options. This time around, we're like, where are we gonna eat? Oh, right here, delish, right?
Yep.
So like, I do think that year over year, we are really seeing dirt moving. We're really seeing businesses come in, and we're starting to see the vibrance of downtown really start to happen. And it's going to be even more tangible this year as kind of like this like tide that is coming, and it's about to come over the seawall, and it's going to flood everything, right? It's
Absolutely.
a terrible analogy
Well,
when it comes to sea level rise.
It's a good thing.
but in a good way, right? So that's kind of what that's kind of what I'm getting from you. It's like data is normalization. Some people see that as a bad thing. Data with perspective is normalization is good. Not your average insight is, man, this is actually providing a little bit more cloud cover for people that want to get in and bet on this insight of bending the curve of home price appreciation when a downtown happening that we've been foreseeing, and it's going to be very, very tangible at the summit.
Well said.
Okay. All right, you see, then if that's kind of like the forecast. Let's talk about the bets that JWB is making. Let's talk about JWB by the numbers here, right? So acquisitions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you some insight into what we did last year and what we expect to do next year. We'll start with the beginning of the process here, which is how we acquire land and assets. And so in 2024, we purchased 91 properties. In 2025, we expect to purchase 60 properties. But this is an example, and I tried to relate our business plan that I'm sharing the numbers with you to some of those lessons that we hold near and dear into how we operate our business. This is a reflection of us preparing in advance on behalf of our clients. We do have over 1,000 lots in inventory that JWB has not built out yet. And this ensures that our clients have a steady runway of turnkey properties that can turn into these assets to fill their portfolios to help them reach their financial outcomes. So we are buying what we, in essence, we're buying what we need to buy to make sure that our relationships in the community are continuing to be strong so people know that we are still here and buying. But the reality is that we are in a position of strength when it comes to assets. And if you think about how other builders operate, especially now, builders are out there trying to source land. They can't do it. They're having to pay really high prices.
Yeah.
This is one way that we are able to not just have the inventory for all of you, but we're able to keep prices low.
Yeah.
And to deliver those cash flows and other positives that you see in your portfolio.
Yeah, the ability to count on a property for me that fits my investment criteria being there as I am hitting my retirement goals is kind of like a underreported benefit of vertical integration. Right? Like you can't, if we are going to solve this retirement issue, it can't be like, oh, okay, well, when there's stuff available, you can save for retirement. No, you got to be able to set a clock to it and be able to hit those goals, right? So
Exactly.
You all have done that by securing these lots, by controlling the cost of what it's going to be, so that you can create this predictable, scalable way to retire. But did I hear that last year you said you were going to purchase 60 and you purchased 91?
We did. So we might. Listen, we're all about relationships, and there are certain times with our relationships we are looking for the long haul. And sometimes with some of our relationships in the real estate community, it might be an opportunity for us to buy something that is going to pay off for that person and do right by that client. And, when it comes to relationships, we're going to make the right call and be long-term thinking. So I'm sure that's why those extra 31 properties were purchased. But now we'll talk about how do we get the money to do that. And that's where private lending comes in. Our private lending program, as you can see at the bottom here, has a 100% success track record. This is where we borrow money from our clients to buy and build and renovate these new construction homes. We've delivered over $300 million of private lending profits and principal and interest back to our clients. So super proud of that. Never once missed a payment. We raised over $25 million in 2024. That was a wonderful goal. Absolutely blew the goal out of the water in 2024. So we're going to run it back with that same goal in 2025. And so thank you to all of you. If you're a current client and you're interested in private lending, you can reach out to our team. It's not something that we advertise because it has to be relationship based. And so that's why our current clients do get the opportunity to do private lending with us, but you can reach out to our team and this can be another way to help you reach those financial goals.
This is kind of the other piece of that predictability and being able to do this is number one, having the inventory, and two, having the money to do it with, and like not relying on external forces to dictate the cost of all that type of stuff, right? So this is a piece of that. This is a piece of this planning for the future part, securing the lots, acquiring them, having them there, and then having the money to do it, not at current market rates, at the rate that you already priced in that you can predict.
Absolutely.
Right. All right, cool. So construction, talk to me about construction.
Yeah, moving down the pipeline now that we had the land purchased or the property purchased and then the money in hand, now it's time to build the thing or renovate the thing. And so super proud of our construction team. In 2024, we built 420 new homes. So that's over 400 homes added, affordable homes added where they are needed most in our great city, in our workforce housing neighborhoods. We did over 1,100, almost 1,200 property turns. So a property turn would be serving you when your resident moves out and that home needs to be renovated. That is a property turn. We get it turned and we get it ready for the next resident coming in. We did 36 client renovations, and this is something new to add to the State of the Union here. A client renovation is where a client doesn't necessarily purchase the property from JWB. We just serve them as a property management client, but they say, hey, will you go and do one of these professional renovations for me? So that I can go out and acquire more and more assets. And I don't have to worry about the renovation. I don't have to worry about the management. So this is something that we rolled out last year, and it's been a really great success, but I don't think enough people know about it. So we did 36 client renovations. So if you are a property management client of JWB and you want us to do the renovation for you when you acquire a new property, we are open for business to do that. Reach out to our team and we'll be happy to help you out there.
This is one of those moments where I keep thinking about how you guys are a chapter of you have every chapter of the Good to Great book in there, right? Like this is part of the flywheel. This is what Amazon has done to continue its dominance and growth and becoming a household name. They went from doing one thing to doing the thing next to it, but then eventually it started monetizing the things that they already do in service of their clients. This is true vertical integration. You have realized that you have the capacity to do this. You have a standard that you bring your turnkey rental properties to. You have the data that shows you this is the standard that it needs to be done in order to maximize returns, and you have the talent available to do it. So now you get to spin off something that you've been doing internally as another profit center, as another benefit, as another way to continue to grow the spend that you take with contractors every year. The more you spend with contractors every year, the better service I get as an investor, the more that your construction team knows how to do these renovations and continue to do them, the higher quality of product you're selling to the new investor, right? So like, this is like another one of those like self-feeding pieces of the flywheel that I find really, really interesting.
Well, thanks for pointing that out. I agree with you. And I think the manner in which we roll those things out needs to be very strategic, needs to be relatively slow. So this is a great example of something we've rolled out really just in the last year, but it took years and years of us thinking about this, perfecting it, because it's not just as easy as doing it internally as it is to be client facing. And we're ready to rock and roll and really do some good things for clients. So excited about that.
Cool. All right, property sales. What are you predicting here?
Yeah, I thought there's a lot to learn from this slide here. So I know we're getting up close to an hour here, and I'm glad for those who are staying on right now. This is an example of proactive pivoting and vertical integration, right? So in 2024, you can see about half of our property sales were turnkey sales, and half of our sales were retail sales. Retail would mean selling to an owner occupant. Turnkey would be selling to you as an investor. And so we ended with the year with 327 sales. You can see in 2025, we're expecting much bigger growth. And, part of that will be from some relief on the interest rate side. Part of that will just be from our message continuing to be evangelized and continuing to hit home and home and home. Really cool. Over half of our sales came from repeat sales and referrals last year. So
it's a good sign.
It's a source of strength for us to go into each year and not have to worry about where our sales coming from. So thank you to all of you for the trust that you put in our team. But this is a really cool thing. So, if we go back a couple of years ago and I said, listen, proactive pivoting, vertical integration are really important themes. This is a great example. We knew that demand for investment properties would come down because of interest rates going up. And proactively, we said, well, you know what? That's okay. It's time for us to flip the lever a little bit on retail sales. And so we built out our retail sales. Prior to this, we had years where we sold hundreds of retail properties, but it hadn't been in a while. And so I wanted to point out an example of that. Back in 2021, turnkey sales were 98% of all JWB property sales. But you can see in 2024, turnkey sales were 50% of all sales. So if you're doing business with a company that is not vertically integrated, especially in real estate, they had a really painful year, 2023, 2024. It's one of the reasons that we've been able to be in business for 19 years now, and we'll be in business a lot longer, is because we have the opportunity to match proactive pivoting with vertical integration, pull some levers, rally the team so they can understand the mission and have another really solid year.
Yeah, I mean, kind of another symptom of that, like Amazon kind of approach to building a business, right? Like your ability to diversify your income streams creates stability for the consumer, for the buyer, stability for the client that's already in, right? Like you are not rushing to fix something here or there. You're not setting yourself up to overpromise and underdeliver because you got to change something in your business model. You're able to pull lever from here to there in order to keep it constant for your team. And that is what keeps it constant for the client as well.
100%.
Right? You're not scrambling. Big growth in total property sales. Did you talk about where that's coming from?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't, so to put some perspective, we have years where we've sold well over 500 properties.
Yeah.
So as I was relating it back to like 2020 to 2024, those pendulum swings, like in 2021, we sold 550 properties. So this is
good year.
So this is not new for JWB. We fully expect to be there. We thought that this year our property sale numbers would be down because we didn't know what interest rates were going to do. And that's the way that it shook out. But the team is in place. The models are all in place. Nothing's gone anywhere from those same years where we sold, 500-600 properties. So it's not like we have to do something that's never been done before.
So what I'm seeing is this is more normalization, this time for JWB, because last year was this like giant sticker shock of interest rates and what the heck's happening and is the world ending, and because interest rates are going up in a way that we haven't seen in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like priced in. The consumer is used to it. This becomes normalized for you, which means you're not going to go back up to like record-setting years of, God, bring me back to 2020, 2021. But you are going to go back to like more normalized years for JWB that you're used to.
Yeah, I think so. 2024 was stabilization.
Yeah.
We knew what interest rates were doing, right? 2025 is elevating, right?
Yeah.
Stabilization 2024. We were able to pull the lever, and retail sales made up the difference so that we had roughly about the same number of sales that we had for kind of our average over the years. Now it's time to elevate. We're ready.
Love it. Very cool, man. This is what we were talking about before, rentals, right? Like, let's talk about homes rented, renewed, property under management.
The numbers are just staggering.
Yeah.
Staggering, man. Our property management team does such a wonderful job. We rented almost 1,400 homes in 2024. That's moved in 1,400 new residents.
That's so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's an average of like 3 people per home. Also, like there's just a lot of like human movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with something that's very precious for people. It's
Yeah.
security, it's
Yeah.
shelter. So that is not missed on us. We'll do that to the tune of about 1,650 times in 2025. So our team is, man, they're ready, they're hungry, they're motivated, and we're doing so much to make sure that we can serve you as an owner of the rental property. One of the best ways we do that is by renewing leases. So your resident doesn't need to leave, which is the best way to be able to deliver on your return on investment. We did that almost 2,000 times last year. I put it down here in the bottom that in 2019, not that long ago, 5 years ago, we renewed 744 leases in a year, and we thought that was the best we'd ever done. We thought that was incredible. So almost 2,000 times in 2024. We'll do that 2,200 times in 2025, and at the end of this year, we should be up to about 5,800 homes under management.
Amazing, man. Amazing growth. And this is why.
This is why. We
Yeah.
believe that if we bring the right team in and we have this dynamic culture, that you will feel it as clients and that our team will take care of you as clients, keep you happy and coming back. So we should end this year. Right now we have about 133 teammates. We should end with 137. So stabilization, normalcy when it comes to staffing is important. There have been years in our growth where we had to hire 30% new teammates. And I can tell you, I'm glad that those years are not today.
Yeah.
Because that brings stress onto a business. So very excited to perform this year.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this number, and this is the thing that I was saying, right? When I started, when we started thinking of this community and whatever, I think you had high 60s, maybe low 70s in teammates, right? So this will mark a doubling of the team since I've been around, which feels like just yesterday.
Yeah.
So enormous growth, pretty incredible, man.
They're pretty incredible. And I'll brag on the team a little bit here. These are the awards that we won just in 2024. I don't have enough space to share these awards on our show. I try to bring them in every once in a while in our breaking news, but team is just so strong and such a pleasure to be surrounded by very quality and talented and good people. We won Jacksonville's top workplaces, companies with heart. Our CEO, Adam Eisman, was voted the ultimate CEO. We were awarded as the fastest growing company by Inc. magazine, and we did a double take on the best places to work. Both the Florida Times Union and Jacksonville Business Journal recognized us.
Let's go. Very nice,
super
man.
proud of the team there.
Any one of these mean more to you than the others?
Best places to work.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
100%.
Yeah.
Best places to work is we look at that every year. We've won it. Oh goodness, I think 10 times, and we just think it is an objective measurement of how are we doing to build our culture. One of the most important measurements of how are we doing to build our culture, and something that ultimately leads to a better client experience.
Cool, man. We're about to jump into a couple of questions, but take us home here with this impact slide here.
Yeah, this is something we're super proud of, especially in our community here. We have generated together here through your trust and our performance. We've delivered over $300 million in profits just on your turnkey assets. So this is not talking about private lending here. These are just your turnkey assets. Pablo is one of our 100,000 plus clients.
100,000-aire.
He's a 100,000-aire. We have 767 100,000-aires. You can see the numbers as you go up to the top here. But we have 38 folks who have made over $1 million investing in JWB turnkey assets. We have 3 folks that have made it to the $2 million threshold, and we're very close to number 4. And ultimately, this is what it comes down to. You use these profits to do so much good in this world, and we're so happy to make it possible for you.
$300 million. Not easy to say. That's pretty incredible.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And lastly, we'll leave you with this. Many of you have asked about our movement to downtown, to our new corporate headquarters in downtown. And we have a little bit more clarity. For those of you who will be here in the summit, you'll get to see the Greenleaf building, which is going to be the new JWB headquarters. That's the beautiful building you see here. We are undergoing renovations right now. We have released some super exciting news about the building, as many of our new tenants are moving in. And one of the most exciting tenants is a brand new restaurant that we are bringing at the bottom of the building. It's called The Oak Steakhouse. It is by one of the premier restaurateurs and hospitality groups in the entire country. And guess what? He saw success in Nashville and Charleston and some of these other thriving downtowns. And he said, I want to be in Jacksonville. I want to be in Jacksonville. So the Oak State House will be coming. I don't know if it'll be done by next year or maybe early 2026, but that will be right at the bottom of JWB's building. So we're very excited about our partnership with them. And we're going to be moving into our corporate headquarters sometime around Q1, Q2 of 2026. Team couldn't be more pumped. And I think for us, it is that statement that we're making beyond all the statements that I make as far as how much of a believer we are in downtown Jacksonville and how much we love downtown and our community. There's nothing like having your own building there and having your own corporate headquarters there. Yeah. And that is one of the reasons that we said we got to be downtown. We got to put our money where our mouth is over and over and over again. So we're excited to do that, and we'll pass by it on the summit this year, and then maybe next year for summit we'll be able to go in.
Man, that'd be really cool. I've always, as you know, my wife is an architect, and she always gets to work in like urban centers and really cool. And I never have, right? So like the being downtown and the vibrancy of it, and the like walk downstairs and go get something to eat and go take a walk in the park, and like the mixing of the urban fabric and feeling really part of it, really, really cool. Also, one of my favorite moments ever from any summit was, I think it was our first summit. When we did our first tour, we're standing here under this door. Somebody looks up at this little emblem over here. And I guess it's the Greenfield Chester something building?
Greenleaf and Crosby.
Greenleaf and Crosby. Greenfield, I was way off. Greenleaf and Crosby buildings. There's a GC right here. And someone's like, Greg is standing right underneath it. Someone's like, it's the GC building. Look, it's GC.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. We put that building on the map. All right. So that being said, if you want copies of these slides, text 904-293-0341 so you can see all these numbers and go back to them if you want. We got a couple questions I want to hit on, GC. We've gone a little bit over time. You got a little bit extra time?
So,
all right. Carlos Andres Lopez, Cal, he's back.
All right.
Bienvenido, Carlos. Says, hello, have eviction rates increased? We had our first experience in one of our 5 houses with a tenant that had signed a lease in 2023. How's evictions doing?
Evictions are right on par. So I report on this every quarter. In our quarterly market update, I at least look at the data and I would tell you if they were off. But I looked at it last quarter, right on par with what is normal. So I'll continue to do that on a quarterly basis for you, Carlos. And thank you so much for your trust, and amazing that you have those 5 properties with us.
Billy Green says, how frequently do you buy back properties from JWB investors who want to liquidate?
It's not very often. Every once in a while, the stars can align where it's to the client's best interest that JWB can purchase the home back from the client. But we're very upfront with all of our clients, saying, listen, our job is to maximize your return on investment. The maximization of your return on investment does not come with you selling the asset back to JWB, because JWB is an investor. And for us to buy this asset, we have to buy it under market value. And so we're very, very big proponents on surrounding you with services that allow you to sell your asset for full market value. That's why we have JWB Realty Services, which are in-house and can help you maximize your sales price and returns. So it happens on occasion, but it's typically not the ideal route. And that's why proper planning comes into place. We talk about this months in advance or even years in advance with our planning, with our portfolio managers, so that we can maximize this for you.
Okay. Rafi has a question. He says, Rafi, who we met at Fortune Builders that one time I went to Fortune Builders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He says, I want to go to the event. Not a client yet, but I plan on being one very soon. Can I buy the tickets and buy a property, or what?
Well, Rafi, really amazing that you're excited about the event and becoming a client. Now, this event is for clients that own an asset or have a property under contract. So there is some exclusivity to this event. But I would highly encourage you to get on the phone with our team. Many times, if there is something that you feel is preventing you from moving forward on a property, my team has done this tens of thousands of times with clients now, and we can help you overcome those obstacles. But it will be necessary for you to have a property under contract in order to be there at the summit this year. I'll tell you what, Rafi, even if that's not the case and it can't work out this time, call our team. build a relationship with us. Come in for lunch here. Get to know our team, and so that you can become a client very soon, even if the summit isn't something that you can take part in this year.
Rafi, I want you to come, bro. Just saying it personally. I love Rafi. Awesome guy. I've been in contact with him since Fortune Builders. Would love to have you here, buddy. Okay, GC. Good job, bud.
This is great.
We went over by a considerable amount.
We did.
It happens on these big reports. Totally happens when we are announcing something we're super excited about, which is the summit. JWBsummit.com. Ringmaster Drew is asking if the summit has sold out yet. Drew, I don't think it's sold out yet. I'm on the website. There's still tickets available, so it's not sold out yet.
Cool.
I have no doubt that it's going to sell out. This is the first time that we open it to the public. Last time it sold out under 2 weeks.
Yep.
So if you haven't gotten it, get in on it. If you have questions, there is an email in the website to go to that you can ask some questions about it, right? I think it's marketing@jwb.com.
Exactly.
JWBcompanies.com.
Yes.
So make sure that you get your ducks in a row. Reggie, we'll see you at the next one. Charity, we'll see you at the next one. And see you next week. Speaking of next week, first of all, we had over 100 folks here that were here over an hour. If you're here right now, still about like 90 folks still here right now, just really want to acknowledge the fact that you just took all this time to hang out with us here, middle of the work week, beginning of the year, getting your ducks in a row, understanding what the real estate market is up to. I applaud you for doing that. And more than anything, I thank you for making the community what it is. We wouldn't have these summits if we didn't have folks like you coming here, asking questions, being open about your pains, sharing your experience in the chat, making friends and stuff like that. We wouldn't have these summits. So especially today that we're announcing the summit, really, really grateful that you took time out of your day. Next week, we got an interesting show, GC.
Yes, we do.
We are showing a couple of new stars in the solar system of JWB. We got Sam Mashburn, aka Smashburn, and Caitlin Kitchens, aka Kate.
Oh yeah.
Talking about how to de-risk rental properties, right? This idea of vertical integration and what it actually means. It essentially means an alignment of incentives. But I think the easiest way that I would explain it is you buy the property once, you hold it for a long time. So this idea of like you make your money on the buy in real estate is true for a lot of asset classes. In this asset class, you make your money on the hold, right? So the way that you de-risk rental properties is to create these proper long-term incentives, and we're going to dive into what those are and how that affects the rental property journey. I'm super pumped. I think we talked about it's like establishing your star number 2 receiver out here.
Yeah.
like we're throwing the ball to the new prospects. They're going to show you what they can do, and I think it's going to be awesome, man. Any words on that one?
I'm excited for you all to continue to see more and more of my team shine. You all have asked for it, and this year, man, my team is ready to get in the hot seat and sit next to you there, Pod. So we're excited. Next show will be incredible.
It's true. All right, GC. From